Hey there, Andrew Anderson with thelongercrowbar.com, and I have something I'm going to share with you to massively increase your chance of success. I have used this to great results here, and I'm going to explain exactly what's going on. So, this is one of the longest crowbars that are out there, and it's available for free. Most people don't realize how much leverage it can give you in all areas of your life. I'm going to tell you about my personal story on how I used it 2,518 days ago to drastically change my whole life. So back then I was out of shape. I was getting chubby. I was starting to look like Santa Claus, beer belly, even though I didn't drink much beer. And I was just sick of it. I made up my mind that I was going to change the way that I thought. So what I did was I decided to do intermittent fasting and then later on keto. So here's what I did. I knew that writing it down, because I read Cialdini, and he's the one that talked about it. So Dr. Cialdini, go find any of his books. They're all fantastic. Okay. So, what I did was I knew that I told myself, so I had an 8% chance of success. I wrote it down. I increased that by almost over 400%. I knew that was going to help. And then I wrote it down and I shared it with some friends. So I'm going up there. I'm like 800% better, you know. And then the other thing that I did, and this number is a little bit squishy, but I think it's actually higher than this. I wrote it down in public, shared it with my friends, and then I publicly shared it to the general public, and I started a Facebook group. So it started with 4 of my friends, and now I think we've had over 80,000 people in it. But the kicker is, and the longer crowbar is, that I've stuck with this and done this experimentation now for 2,518 days. And did I hit my results? Yes, I lost 36 pounds of fat. I started feeling better. I started thinking better, and I started making more money. So I'd call that a success. And I've seen this used time and time again, but I've also seen it used, and I think it's about this amount. 8% of the people will never use this. Only 8% of the people that watch this will ever use it. I think it's actually lower than that, maybe only 2% of you. But that's okay, right? Because we all self-select. What I've found is that the people that do follow through with this stuff, they make 10x more money, and they're 10x more successful than the people that don't. You can see why. The numbers don't lie. This number is a little bit squishy. I think it's even higher than that. The consequences here is if you bet someone, you know, $100 or $1,000 or whatever is meaningful amount of money to you, that you write it down, you share it in public, and then you say, listen, I'm going to do X, Y, or Z, or attempt to do it by such and such a date, or I have to pay money, or I agree to work for free for a day, or whatever it is that's going to motivate you to do something. What happens is you have all kinds of emotional pressures internally that you don't even realize. But the beautiful thing about this, if you bring it back down to the physical, so what happens is this is all about getting your neurons firing, right? Whether you do the low end where you're just talking to yourself, which really doesn't count. The old saying was, if you don't write it down, it doesn't really count, is absolutely true. What happens is you get more neurons involved in the process, and it's an exponential amount. It's like 10x during each one of these steps here. And when you write it down, so you've got your hand writing it down, or you're typing, or you're texting, but writing it actually works better than texting because it takes more neurons to write versus when you text. And you also have the visual cues. These are all overlaid on your chances of success, so it makes a bigger impression on whatever it is you're trying to accomplish, so you're more likely to stick with it. So if something's really important to you, stair-step this process. Go to this one. You want to write it down. You want to tell yourself, write it down and share with your friends. Write it down and share publicly, and then put some consequences to it. Now, they don't have to be negative. I'm a total carrot person. Things don't work with me, so there's a reward there. Well, my reward was that I lost 36 pounds, and that's cool. But I also did something for myself. I said, hey, I'm going to go to this one place. I'm going to travel. If I hit this, I'm going to do it. Now, you may not be a carrot person. It may take a stick to do it. And it just depends, or maybe a little bit of both, you know? So there you have it. And that's a longer crowbar of epic proportions. It probably goes all the way to the moon. And almost every successful person that I ever known does this. I would have to say that every millionaire that I know has done this, and they do this on a regular basis. Every single one without exception. I'm not spoken with a millionaire or multimillionaire that does not do this. Yeah, why this isn't taught in schools or taught everywhere, or this isn't talked about, is beyond me. But This is part of what we teach in a mastermind program. Public accountability can have a huge impact on your success ratio in anything. So whatever it is that you want to do, tell yourself first, repeat it several times so that it sticks. Write it down for yourself. Write it down and share it with some peers that you respect, because you don't want to be embarrassed after you tell someone, and that's a big motivator. Write it down in public. Some people care about this. I mean, I personally don't, but it worked for me, so why buck the trend, right? And then have some consequences, either good or bad. So there you have it. That's a longer crowbar trick to massively increase your chance of success. So if you've got anything that you want to get done in the next year, follow these simple steps and your chance of success go through the roof. Check out thelongercrowbar.com and our YouTube channel for more tips and tricks. Like I said, I'm going to share this publicly, and I'm going to share this with our mastermind group, that you have to pay to be there. But I just want to show you some of the things that we're doing that it seems easy to do, but as Jim Rohn said, it's easy to do, easy not to do. If you can just do these small things, you can tip the dominoes in your favor. It's just one little action, and it just sets off a chain reaction in a great, great way. Talk to you later. And remember, check us out at thelongercrowbar.com. Take care.